least you know it's not true.
At least there's that. A woman pulls up to a McDonald's drive-thru at 2 in the morning, looks in the car ahead of her to see why nobody's moving, and everybody in it is sitting there lifeless, heads tilted back, eyes shut, not moving. She looks at the next car, and those people are lifeless too. Then the cops go check and tell her everything's totally fine. Tonight we're not doing ghosts and we're not doing tree knocks or creepy folks in the woods. Tonight it's the stuff that people can really only describe one way, which is that reality itself glitched for a second, just long enough for them to notice. Regular people put these online, mostly anonymous, still freaked out about it years later. We can't prove a single one, but that won't stop us from jumping down the rabbit hole. Let's hop in.
There's whispers moving through the tree line, something pacing in the dark. Could be wind or something watching just beyond the fire spark. Something screaming in the distance, probably just a raccoon. But if it starts speaking Latin, we'll be leaving pretty soon. We laugh it off but keep on listening to the branches crack above. Every monster needs believers in the tall tale social club. So roast a mallow, share a sighting, and don't you dare forget to sub. You're a member now forever of the Tall Tale Social Club. Tall Tale Social Club. Tall Tale Social Club.
Explained to you before how Jefferson Airplane is partially responsible for my daughter's name.
I can honestly say that you and I have never talked about Jefferson Airplane a single time in our lives.
I don't talk about him much.
I know you talked about Silence the Lamb being
part of it,
responsible for your daughter's name, but Jefferson Airplane, no.
Yeah. The Grace Slick.
Bracelet?
Grace Slick, the female lead singer of Jefferson Airplane's daughter is named China. Kind of an inspiration back in the day.
Jefferson Airplane was an inspiration to you?
No.
Or her daughter?
Just the name. I like the name.
Just the name? Okay.
The name China.
Then you could have just said the country was an inspiration too, you know?
I mean, no.
No?
No, I don't need to say that.
Okay. Well, hey, check that out. Here we are. What's up? Welcome back to Tall Tale Social Club. Today, we, as I mentioned moments ago, before we got on the Jefferson Airplane bit, we're getting into some Glitch in the Matrix stories. And I know what everyone's thinking, hey, I thought last time you said there was a spooky nurse episode coming out. I think we're going to do that next episode. It's going to be so turned around by the time it actually comes out. It'll be like, hey, welcome to the 3rd episode of the show. In reality, it'll be like, whatever, who cares, right? Nobody's really here for that.
We're here for this Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Just
consider it a glitch in the Matrix. When the nurse episode comes out, be like, wow, I guess it did glitch, didn't it?
Totally glitched. Wasn't not under our control at all.
That is true. Some things are out of our control. We do what the algorithm tells us. We are just slaves to the algorithm after all. And this feels like a great moment, Mothy, if you could fire up the old tangent spiel. Yeah, sit tight. We'll be right back. You get that? I do it for you? Okay, cool. We've had some lovely comments of people being like, I'm actually here for the banter. I enjoy you guys talking and having a good time, and it feels like I'm there with you, and that's kind of the atmosphere we like to create here. You are here with my father-in-law Christian over there and myself, talking about some spooky stuff, some weird stuff. That's what we're into. We don't need to solve anything. We don't need to figure out exactly what Bigfoot is, okay?
Yeah, we do.
We don't need to know the spiritual background of any of that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. We can just tell stories and be like, hey, isn't that fascinating? And that's what we do. So welcome in. As always, you guys have been great. And so have we. With that, we should probably get into a story or so. Is there anything else that... Did you get the Christian is my spirit animal shirt yet? Because you need it.
Yeah, you do.
It's right here. This is a little shiny, so it's not gonna show up too well, but that's all right. Anywho, guys, life out there is a tricky beast, all right? It's almost Friday. We almost made it to the end of the week. You got this. You can do it. Hang in there. In the meantime, let's get you some spooky stories to get you through, huh? We got some Glitch in the Matrix stories, some actually fascinating ones. Usually we'll kind of have a handful of stories that guide us through the episode. This one, since a lot of these Glitch in the Matrix stories are so short, there's like batches that have similar themes instead of individual stories. And I hope you guys are okay with that. And if you're not, then I really don't know what to tell you because it's already done. It's happening right now before your eyes. And with that, let's get into this before we bore the listeners even more than we already have. So we kind of teased it a little bit with that cold open. This first one's called The Drive-Thru. And it's from a woman on the Glitch in the Matrix subreddit posting as N Torres 2020. And she says right up front, she knows how it sounds. Says, if I told you what I saw last night, you would not believe me. She knows Christian. She gets Christian already.
I already don't believe her.
Mm-hmm. I can't even wrap my head around it. Oh, wait, let me change that because it's McDonald's. I can't even snack wrap my head around it. You like that? Yeah, just right off the dome right there. I didn't write that. Just came to me. So around 2 a.m, I go to do laundry with my oldest son. We put the laundry in, and after that, we go to a McDonald's drive-thru to get something to drink. The drive-thru is packed, like 5 or 6 cars ahead of us, and nobody's moving. We're sitting there, and it's been 5 minutes, and the whole line is just frozen. So I decide to pull around the car in front of me and go to the other lane because this McDonald's has 2. Do you think you're special? Because almost every McDonald's has 2. And as I'm pulling around them, I look into their car to see why they're not moving. And I kid you not, both people, the driver and the passenger, looked dead. Heads tilted all the way back, eyes shut, not moving, dead. I freaked out and tried to pull out of the drive-thru completely, going around the other cars just to get out of there. And the next car I passed, all the people in it looked dead too. Heads back, eyes shut. I panicked. I thought maybe somebody shot them all, so I hit the gas and got out of there. My son called 911 and told them what happened, and they sent an officer to check. A few minutes later, the cop called us back and said everything was fine at McDonald's. And my son saw it too. We both saw the first car. The people looked dead. I'm still scared over it, and I can't wrap my head around it. What we saw. So the cops showed up. Everything's normal. Both of them saw the same thing. Here's one I was able to track down that is a little similar. Not exact, but from a guy who does this for a living. And it's an EMT that goes by Mark of Shame.
Great name for somebody that's trying to save our lives.
And also is probably named Mark.
True.
So he says, driving home on a stormy day, I see a side road up to the local golf course blocked off by flashing barricades, and a Mercedes parked past them with its hazards on. So I stop and walk up to see if they need help. I shine my light in the back seat, and there's a man slumped over. Looks like he's asleep. I move up to the driver's window, knock on the glass, shine my light in, and the driver is sitting bolt upright, not moving, staring straight ahead. I'm knocking. I've got the light right on him, and he doesn't blink, doesn't flinch, nothing. Then I look over, and the passenger is slumped forward onto the dash. Now it's really creeping me out. Their doors are locked. So I call down to the sheriff's station and ask them to send a unit up to help me check these people out. While I'm on the phone, I walk back to my truck to grab my bag, and a power company truck comes rumbling down from that closed road. I move to go around the truck to get the plate number, and the car is gone. Just gone. I asked the guy driving the truck about it, and he says there's an 80-foot tree down across the road, been down a while, and won't be open for a day or so. So there was a tree one way and barricades the other. Where did the car go? It's kept me a little unsettled at accident scenes ever since. Which one would you like to unpack first? The McDonald's one?
Yeah.
What is your first thought on the McDonald's one? Let's go there. It is 2 a.m. Remember, early morning.
Small town McDonald's or smaller population McDonald's only have one lane.
I know. I was working one for about 6 years.
Okay, because you made it sound like everybody that doesn't have 2 lanes sucks.
Well, let's be honest. They do at this point. But as someone that worked the OG McDonald's where there was one lane and people just honking and screaming at each other, I've lived through both. I think I was living in Vegas when I first saw a 2-lane. I was like, 2 lanes? How many drive-through windows are there?
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
But anyway, back to the McDonald's story. I mean, sometimes you got to add new NPCs to the game.
Isn't it kind of interesting? Like, and my first thought was, it's number one, 2 a.m. If I'm going to rationalize this one way or another, it's 2 a.m. You have maybe 2 people working at that McDonald's. And if the drive-thru is packed, it's going to be slow. And so these people in the cars were probably tired of waiting for so long. They're just like, oh my God, how long until I get my McChicken and or sausage eggy McGritty, you know?
All of them look dead.
Yeah. I think after a certain amount of time, everyone just gives up.
I think they were
You
just...
ever been in a long drive-through line where it just takes 25 minutes? And you're like, who is inside this building right now?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Me and your son.
Yeah, that happens.
We went to Wendy's.
Bad mistake.
Instead, because the other line did not move for 10 minutes.
At McDonald's, you're saying you went to Wendy's to make up for a line that didn't move?
Yeah, 10 minutes we didn't move.
Dude, if Wendy's was the actual winner in that scenario, I'm blown away. Wendy's is the especially out here, the worst fast food chain out here is Wendy's, bar none. Great social media team. Horrendous employees.
I haven't seen any fast food out here that's any good. But back to the other story.
The interesting one, the disappearing car.
I just found that one less interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I was like...
It vanished, dude.
Nobody else saw it. We just got one person that saw it. That is
one, and it's not like he just saw it. He walked up to it, shining his light in there. Someone slumped over in the back seat. Someone slumped over the dash in the passenger seat, and the driver's just sitting straight, bolt upright.
Mark of shame, man. I trust him not at all.
I don't know. That seems a little more crazy to me.
I mean, that's crazy, but cars disappear all the time. We've been in this genre for a while. We've told stories like this where things just disappear when they shouldn't.
Sure. But that doesn't mean that we get used to it and we're just okay with that happening.
I'm kind of used to it now. I mean...
You're used to it because you don't believe any of this stuff happens to begin with. So it's kind of like...
That's why the McDonald's story is better. Because that just opens up a bunch of different possibilities. I don't necessarily believe it, but I'm like, it's definitely some form of glitch in the matrix. Maybe you're popping into an alternate universe of some sort. I don't know.
Where everyone got tired of waiting and just shot up the McDonald's
Maybe everybody's dead.
The alternate universe where everyone's just dead.
Yeah, I feel like you've never...
What a strange universe.
I feel like you've never watched any fiction that travels to different universes. And they go to a new universe and everything's ridiculously stupid. Like this.
Well, that sounds more judgmental than anything, but that's
fine. It's just nonsensical. Like this one, it makes no sense on any level.
Which makes perfect sense.
But we did leave out the fact that she's doing laundry at 2 a.m. out at a laundromat. So there's a whole bunch that could be added to that story. Yeah.
Perhaps there's some extracurricular activities taking place that...
Or just a hard life. Life. Sometimes... Maybe
her name was Annie.
Is she okay?
Not the Annie I was referring to, and I think you know that.
I don't know which Annie you're referring to.
It's a hard knock life, dude. It's literally the name of the movie, Annie. Annie, you know?
I never saw the movie.
You don't have to see the movie to know.
I know what Annie is.
It's fine.
Annie was a big deal when I was a kid because they had the play not too far from where I lived. And they were advertising it all the time.
They didn't have moving pictures when you were a kid.
I said play.
Oh, yes, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Anyhow, you guys tell us. And this is going to be an audience participation episode for the record. So if you have thoughts on these, for the record, every single one that I read, I'm like, no idea. No idea. Except for we're tired of waiting McDonald's bit. And I feel like that was loose at best. So
I feel like the best theory we have right now is NPCs. And that's not a good theory. So tell us yours.
There you go. Do you think we're the only ones around this campfire? Because we're not. Okay. That's not the way this works. And you know that.
We see you, Meg.
Meg?
She's right over there watching us. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, Meg, you can look somewhere else. Okay. That's fine. Anyway, let's get into a different batch. This next bath. Oh, disgusting. This next batch are more doppelganger-esque in nature. And the first one is from someone that goes by Randall Schmidt. Sounds like a good character.
Could be.
Reminds me of Monsters, Inc. for some reason. Not sure if that's shaken loose a few memories for anyone else. Don't think his last name was Schmidt, but I do remember Randall and all the little tiny legs.
Yeah, I do know Randall. But
Randy. Anyway, already. This is without a doubt the scariest and most unexplainable thing that's ever happened to me. One Saturday night, a few months ago, I went to a birthday party at a friend's house. About 40 people were there, split between the basement and the main floor. I never went down to the basement, not once, because the music down there was way too loud and my friends were all up on the main floor anyway. My best friend gave me a ride to the party and we stayed together the whole night. A few days later, I run into a distant friend at school who'd also been there. He pulls out his phone and starts showing me pictures from that night, and he gets to one of him and a girl posing in the basement, and I am standing in the background, smiling, looking toward the camera, but not quite at it. I told him I hadn't been in the basement. He told me he'd seen me down there for several minutes. He said he tried to say hello, but I seemed distant and distracted. So I called my best friend, and she said I was with her the entire night. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't on anything. I drank a water bottle I brought myself. To this day, when I think about that picture, it terrifies me. There must have been another me in the basement. And then here's a short one that happens to a lot of people, and this is from Kelsey832. It says, this happened to me in 3rd grade, and it scared me so bad I started crying and had to go to the office to talk to the principal about it. I was out in the hallway for misbehaving, and my neighbor Tad, this feels like the 80s, who was a year younger than me, comes walking out of class to my right. He passes in front of me and heads down the stairs. We say hey to each other. Then, 20 seconds later, Tad walks out of the same class again, passes in front of me, and goes down the same stairs. I just stared at him, confused and scared, and he looked back at me like, why are you looking at me like that? And then here's another one from Maleficent Horse 687. It says, it was a Friday. I was walking home from school. You know the feeling? Done with all the crap from the week, ready for the weekend. Heck yeah, we do, guy. We get it. I get home and drop my backpack on the couch, and my mom's standing there with a shocked look on her face. I ask her what's wrong. She goes, I picked you up early for a dental appointment, but now you're here. I wasn't even spooked, just confused. I gave her a hug and went to grab my backpack off the couch, and it was gone. There was nobody in the house but us. I looked around for a while, and I found it in the passenger seat of my mom's car. I walked home. There's no way it just teleported to the car like that. I still have no idea how it did that. And then this is the creepiest one I've heard in a while, and probably easily the worst of these. And it's from someone posting that goes by DeskJockey26. And this one his dad also saw. It says, my dad used to get up around 3 a.m. every morning, and this is probably because I get up around 3 a.m., and so now I'm going to have this freaking story just stuck in my noggin every time I wake up to go to work. It's fine.
At least you know it's not true.
At least there's that. So my dad used to get up around 3 a.m. every morning for work. Starting when I was really little, I'd wake up on my own and wander downstairs to see him before he left. One morning, when I was about 4, I make it to the bottom of the stairs and notice the front door is open a crack. I open it up and see my dad in his favorite work shirt heading down the driveway to his truck. Plaid shirt and Dickies, his usual outfit. So I swing the door wide open and yell for him to come back for a hug before he leaves. He slowly turns around and just stares at me and starts walking back toward the house. And he's looking at me so strange that it starts to scare me. I start crying, asking what's wrong. Just as he's about to reach me, a pair of arms wraps around me from behind in a bear hug. I turn my head and it's my dad, freaked out, staring at the other him in the same exact outfit. The double took one look at my dad and ran off down the driveway. My dad yanked me into the house and locked the door. I wouldn't trust my 4-year-old memory of it if my dad hadn't seen it too. He won't really talk about it these days, but my mom told me he called out of work that day and she spent it telling him he wasn't crazy. Oh, okay. All right. No, that's just like, I get shivers thinking about that stuff. Like, I know it, like, to you, you're probably like, oh, someone made up they spun us a little yarn. But like, for me, I'm like, let's just say in the off chance this literally happened to someone, right? That's terrifying.
Yes.
That's incredibly freaky, you know?
But should it be?
Yeah, dude.
Why? It's just because it's something unknown and unheard of before. I mean, the guy left. obviously the daughter recognized
he made the 4-year-old cry.
Yeah, but this 4-year-old,
from a look, this 4-year-old knows his dad. He's like, oh, that's my dad. And then this person, like, so I was like, oh, I need to hug my dad. And the dad turns around, stares at this 4-year-old, starts walking back, giving a strange look. And so much so that the child's like, never mind, I regret this, and starts bawling her eyes out, or his eyes out.
Let me suggest something.
Here we go.
Maybe the one that ran away
was the real dad?
Is just as terrified.
Why would?
Because he walked out of the house to go to work. His daughter calls him. He comes back. Daughter
I think
crying.
It's a son. We keep going back and forth. I'm pretty sure it's a son, and I keep picturing different hairstyles on the child every time it flips back. And now
we got both bases covered.
Okay, that's twins.
Either way, the child.
There you go. Now it's Grogu. Great.
Yeah, the dad's walking back because the child called out for a hug.
Classic.
The daughter obviously knew something that the dad didn't. That's the wrong dad.
Okay, so
just because. Wait, there's more to it. So the wrong dad gets up there. He doesn't know where the hell he's at. He's just going to hug his daughter. He looks up when the other dad, the real dad, grabs the daughter and is trying to protect her. So he's just as terrified because he was just as confused being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay, can I dismantle this in one sentence?
Oh my God. You can try.
It's not going to take much effort. Okay, so what you're saying is that the real dad or the wrong dad who was on the driveway is walking up toward, I'm going to give my daughter a nice big hug and say, it's fine, goodbye, I'll see you later when I get home from work. And then an intruder copycat dad bear hugs the child, and the real dad's first response is, well, got to hit the old dusty trail, too much for me, I'll see you later.
No, the other dad just realized there's another me right there. So he just ran away confused.
Of course.
Neither dad was, the one in the driveway was obviously this child's wrong dad.
Yeah.
But I sometimes I do feel like you can slip into other places sometimes, and it seems like the real place, and something like this happens, and it's terrifying.
Yes, I believe that there are plenty of stories, and I think a lot of these Glitch in the Matrix stories, and I'm sure a lot of people at home agree, fall into that category very well.
Right.
Because there's no explanation, and that's kind of the allure of it, right? But something like this, doppelganger stories are just a little different for me, and that's because, and I think I kind of go into it a little bit, so I won't say too much, but yeah, it's just, there's a creepy factor to it, and if it hadn't, and this is actually something I'd be interested, if you have ever had someone say, I swear I saw you somewhere, and it wasn't you at all, comment that somewhere and tell me that story, because I love doppelganger stories, and I'm kind of collecting them. But I've had it multiple times in my life where people, there was once at a church in Redding, California, where people were like, Scott, we were like calling out to you. You walked by us. We literally ran, tried it, and then we lost you in a crowd. And I was like, that didn't happen though, because I have ears, And if my friends call me, I'd be like, yellow, Second one was in Eagle River when China says, as she was leaving for work, she passed me coming home from work. And I get a text while I'm sitting at my desk from her being like, why are you heading back home? I said, well, I'm not. Case closed. She was like, that's so weird because I saw you, driving back home. It was you in the car. It was your car. It was your car with the red rims and the black tinted windows and all that. It was you, Scott. I was like, okay, well, it wasn't. Case back open. Who was it? So it's like a personal thing. Like, I know these things happen, but what is it at that point?
Most of the time it's just a similar looking person and bad memory.
Yeah. Speaking of great memories, search your memory for a doppelganger instance, and we'll see you right after the doppelganger break.
I'm still talking.
Hey, look at that, it's me, looking at you, who looks a lot like me. What should we do? I'm getting confused. Will we be best friends, or maybe just awkward lovers? Oh wow, that got weird even faster than we thought. I guess you thought that was okay to say that because it was you, but now it feels weird. What a classic you thing to do.
Welcome back. Christian's got more to say.
What if this is so freaky to us simply because of our ego? How hard it would be to see another one. To me, I'd be like amazed to see myself.
Of course you would.
And I'm sure
Speaking of the ego, yes.
I'd probably be a little terrified, but I'd be like, what the hell?
Like, I gotta go talk to this guy.
Finally, someone that understands me.
Saw that coming.
But no, I just think we live our lives kind of self-centered, no matter how kind of a person we are. That's the way we're built. We got to look out. Our brain looks out for itself.
Yes, you actively have to try to not be selfish.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, and it's just a survival part of us, I think.
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of philosophers will be like, that's the worst. The ego's the worst. Yeah, but it also has kept us alive. But what if it's just, that's what makes it terrifying, is just, we want to be an individual. And if there's someone that looks like us, acts like us, is us somehow, that takes away from our being somewhat special in our own mind.
Seems like maybe some shots fired at twins out there, huh? Jeremy, Chris, you guys want to weigh in on this?
Twins are different because they, from the beginning are kind of accept that or used to it. It's different in a twin. That's totally different, I think. But Tad. I wanted to say something, but now, because that was
the boring, and I can't believe that actually made her cry.
What happened on that one? Take me back.
Tad walked out of a classroom, acknowledged his friend, and was like, "Sup, bro," or whatever, and then did it again, and she was like, "Oh."
That's not Glitch in the Matrix. That's premonition.
That's twins named Tad.
What?
Well,
no,
I thought we were getting back into
no, it's premonition. She just does it. She just had a moment of premonition, whether that's a gift,
sure,
or
I can see that.
I think we've all had moments that are like that.
Way too many to count.
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of what that was.
Sure, a little more visual than usual.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can see that. The creepy one is clearly the basement. I mean, the setting aside the double dad is the creepy.
No, the double dad was pretty good.
Yeah, the basement one, to me, it wouldn't be as creepy if there's like, I could have sworn I saw you in the basement. It's the fact there's a picture, and in the picture, the dude is staring not directly at the camera, but at the camera enough to be like, whoa, I wasn't there. What am I doing down in the basement?
I think this one's the easiest to tear apart.
You think so?
What were they doing at that house?
Partying.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. I don't get that, but I was also the lame guy who, if I did, and I got invited to a lot of parties because people enjoy my company, thank you very much. I'm not that big of a nerd, but I don't think I smoked weed until I was like 22. Like, that was the first time. And I remember it being a very big deal to people when I did. They're like, oh my God, is Scott smoking weed? I was just like, what's the big deal, fam? Or whatever kids are saying now. But I would go to parties. When I did go, if I was like dating someone or trying to like hang out with a girl or something like that, I would go to parties, but I never drank. I never did drugs, never did any of that stuff. I would just go to be like, I'm pursuing this woman right here. And that's all I did. So I understand there are people that go to parties and don't drink, and don't party.
Not too many.
We're kind of a rare breed, but here we are. And now look at me. I'm 36 years old in a converted garage talking to my father-in-law about ghosts and glitch in the Matrix. And they're probably out there being crypto billionaires or something. Who really won?
They're not good people, though.
Yeah, and so that's what I go to sleep with. I'm like, well, at least I have that.
Yeah.
Who needs all the dollar bills in your bank account? And so a quick thing, and this is kind of, we've touched on in the old show several times, and I'm sure we'll do a dedicated episode on this show at some point. But the word for this is a German word, doppelganger, which everyone is familiar with, I'm sure, at this point. It's a very popular thing. Just means double walker, like me, twice. Way back, running into your own double was considered a bad omen, sometimes even a sign you were about to die. That is where it gets super creepy, especially if you're the dad that sees his double, or if you're that kid in the basement and you're like, oh, goodness.
Yeah, but in the old days, you were just about to die because you didn't live long. So it was kind of true.
So you were 17 on death's doorstep, and you're like, there I am again.
Yep. The next cholera epidemic came through 2 weeks later.
Or just a bout of awful diarrhea.
Yeah,
and you were out.
Food poisoning.
You were out of the game. Diarrhea took you out. Good night.
Yeah.
Okay. You think dysentery on the Oregon Trail is bad? Diarrhea. Diarrhea in your friend's basement.
Dysentery.
Is dysentery diarrhea?
Yeah, that's one of the things.
I was thinking that as I was saying, I'm like, I wonder if dysentery is actually just diarrhea. And that's probably why they worded it that way. Because if they put on the Oregon Trail game, you've died of diarrhea. Can you imagine all the 6-year-olds playing that game? Like,
well, when that came out, it was a different time. Because I was playing Oregon Trail in like 81, or I was playing it in junior high in my computer class.
impossible, but
no, it was crazy.
I do remember the graphics on it, and I actually designed a sticker for I think it was a Wendigo in the same like green graphics of the Oregon Trail, and it said, "You've been disemboweled by a Wendigo."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I know. I never released it though. Classic me. But yeah, that's a throwback. I remember the classroom I was in playing Oregon Trail.
Remind me to tell you an idea I had about the Wendigo Diner. Not for here. Just remind me later, because
we're actually starting one in Wasilla. It's going to serve just grilled cheese because we're not exactly Gordon Ramsay over here, but you'll take what you get. The company will be worth it. Okay. Anyway, so this next batch, probably the most common that people report, and it might have already happened to you. Actually, I know for sure, just from the conversations we've had, it's happened to both of us, and it's time going missing. First one's from someone posting the Land Dank. And it starts the same way all great paranormal experiences start, by telling you they're not crazy. So no serious mental health stuff, some mild anxiety and depression. Who amongst us? Okay. I take 25 milligrams of Zoloft, so I don't think I'm hallucinating.
That's not mild.
Is 25 milligrams not mild?
If you're like, don't think you're hallucinating.
No, that's what he's saying. Like, he doesn't take the Zoloft so he knows he's not hallucinating. He's saying, I only take, like, it's mild. All I take is 25 milligrams of Zoloft, so I don't think I'm hallucinating. I think it was more like a prerequisite, being like, yo, I'm not like all hopped up on, psych meds or anything like that, so I'm not hallucinating this. This happened.
Oh, so he's kind of like stereotyping people on psych meds.
Exactly.
As he takes them.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I understand now.
That's all right. So, this morning I woke up for work, left a little early because I woke up before my alarm, filled my water bottle, grabbed my access card, got in my car, and drove off. My commute is the same every day. 40 minutes, mostly interstate. There's always traffic. While the car was warming up, I picked an album to listen to.
What was it?
Didn't mention. And I drove to work. I remember getting cut off. I remember sitting in standstill traffic near my exit. That's the worst. I remember the album I listened to. I remember answering a text with Siri. I remember seeing a kind of car I'd never seen in the US before. I remember thinking I was glad it wasn't as hot today. I definitely drove. So I get to work, pull into the same parking spot I take every day, step out of my car, and I'm still in front of my apartment building. 40 minutes later, almost done with the album I put in. What was I doing? Where did I go? What was I doing? Cotton Eye Joe.
Hate
Classic.
that song. Worst song ever.
The amount of Cotton Eye Joe references over 6 years of us doing this is astounding. I don't even think I could count it. Every time that phrase is mentioned, it's instantly in my head. And it's like, say the line, Scott.
Yeah, even I said
Cotton
it.
Eye Joe thing.
Even I said it, and that's one of my most hated songs
It is.
all time.
It got you?
It's like, because it's an infestation of your brain. That's how bad that song is. So it's, when you hear that line, you have to say it because you've been brainwashed. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
By Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, or the Tall Tale Social Club intro song. Hey, well, we have you here before I get into these other stories. How do you feel? That's kind of like the vibe check for this show, is how do you feel about the intro? We have had either people being like, this is the best intro I've ever seen in my life, or people being like, this needs to go immediately. Where do you stand? I was thinking, and at some point I probably will do it, I just want to get everyone's opinions on it. I was thinking about cutting down the intro to just a brief, like the Tall Tale Social Club bit, and then at the end do the full thing. Because it is a little lengthy. It's like a minute and a half. And I'm like, as much as it's a bop, and it is a bop, don't say otherwise, it is a bit long. So
yeah, somebody, when I was talking to somebody earlier, I mentioned they were talking about the podcast. They did call out the music.
They said it's too good.
Yeah. And then I'm like,
did they say it's not good?
No, they liked it.
Really? Okay.
And I'm like, oh,
see,
yeah.
that's the vibe. Is if people pass the vibe check of the weird doo-wop lo-fi music that I put on this show, we're going to be homies for life. All right. It's plain and simple.
It just made me realize
that you don't know good music. Yeah.
No, both you and her don't. Don't be hurt. It's just my opinion. And music it has a way of doing that too. It's like,
Christian, I've heard some of your music. If anything, I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled to know
you've only heard some of my music.
I know, and that was enough, I think. Though there was sometimes. When I used to drive you to the airport where we'd be listening to songs, you'd be like, who's this? I'm like, it's a good band. And then you take that with you. So you do have an ear sometimes.
No, I just pick up like whatever band catches me. I don't have like I won't listen to that.
Trust fall? Like,
no, it's just like I hear something and Shazam it and I'll listen to them.
Shazam. Okay, it's fine. Anyway, I don't know why I did the Salt Bay thing with that. I guess it kind of fits, but anyway, that person's not the only one. We got one from Bread Lucky.
Bread or Brad?
Bread. Bread. Not like Bread Lucky.
Is he related to the bread man?
Couldn't even begin to tell you what that is. So,
that's
like the guy that makes bread?
Artemi Panarin.
Oh.
That's his nickname.
I don't think he's related to Panarin, no.
That's why they named him the bread man, though, when he was in New York.
Because he was related to bread?
No, because his last name's Panarin.
Oh, like Panera Bread.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, maybe he makes a lot of money.
I mean, he does. He does make a lot of money.
Check out. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and bring us back.
Please do.
I'm going to go ahead and bring us back. Sorry. I see some of the older folks are seething at their keyboards. That's not Butterscotch Gang material right there, friend. Reel it in. Anyway, this still creeps me out because of how... This was Bread Lucky, by the way. This still creeps me out because of how sure I am about it. I was working a travel job in Pittsburgh, staying in hotels during the week and driving home on weekends. I got off at 5 like usual, and before I got on the turnpike, I stopped at a little mom-and-pop gas station to fuel up for the drive home. Got my gas, went in, paid, headed for the turnpike. I drove maybe 2.5 hours before I decided to pull off, grab a quick bite, use the bathroom, put the nearest gas station in my GPS, and drove to it. And I swear to God, I pulled into the exact same mom-and-pop gas station. I walked in to get a burger and almost fell over. Got back in the truck and my GPS said I was in the same spot. Those 2.5 hours of driving just erased. It was after 7. I should have been halfway home. The only thing I can figure is I fell asleep at the station, but somebody would have woken me up if I had been there that long. And I remember the drive, and the gas in my truck said I'd been driving. And it's not just people alone in a car, for the record. This one's also, I think this is the last one, then we'll kind of touch on all of them. We're going to have to touch on all of them. It's fine. This one's from someone that goes by Neo Simmel. This was around 2002. I was about 8. Me, my dad, and my stepmom at the time were flying from California to Tennessee. We land, get off the plane, and wait for my dad to turn his phone on to call my aunt, who was picking us up. Phone turns on, and he's got a ton of missed calls from her, freaking out about where we are. He calls her back, and she's asking where we've been, saying they've been waiting 2.5 hours. We were confused. Our flight landed on time, no delays, and even with the time change, we somehow lost 2.5 hours. And when we got down to baggage, our carousel was completely empty. No luggage, no people. Our bags had been sitting there unclaimed so long they'd already pulled them, and we had to go find them. Still don't know what happened. Felt weird and surreal the rest of the night. Okay, so discuss,
That last one, the airline is just playing. They screwed up really bad, so they're just doing shenanigans.
There's gas coming through the oxygen vents or something like that, just knocks everyone out for 2 hours. They wake up, no, we're here. I feel well rested. Anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting. That one, because at first I was like, oh, the aunt showed up because it's time difference. Got her. I figured it out, but I didn't.
It's like that flight that disappeared. That everybody keeps saying, "Oh,
there's portals and aliens."
Yeah,
careful now, because you're about to really rile up a handful of these listeners here, guys. We're just here for the fun stories. It's all right. You don't got to get all conspiratorial, but if you want to,
yeah, it's kind of maybe they slipped into that place, but came out the other side just 2 hours later. All the rest are simply just being hypnotized by driving, in my opinion.
Hypnotized by driving, so much so 2.5 hours passes of you driving and you're actually just pulling into the same gas station you're at.
That's just stupidity.
That one is wild.
Also,
you think like he got turned around or something?
Did that one mention when that happened? I mean, maybe it was in the early days of GPS and it just put him in a circle and he was
listening to his Crosby, Stills and Nash, and he's like, it's fine.
Yeah, because I've made it like an hour being hypnotized, but when I was driving. So
yeah, we always talk about, like, especially the drive from California to Vegas is what I usually go back to. Just being like coming to at the city lights of Vegas, being like, oh, what's troublesome?
mine was like the drive from like Ontario down into the Antelope Valley.
The question is, how many people are we passing on the road that are experiencing that as we're driving past them, driving with them, and everyone's just like, you know?
Well, I think a lot more than we think. Plus, half the time especially when it's a routine,
It do be like that, yeah.
you just check out. It's not necessarily that you're asleep all the time. You're just on autopilot, which in a lot of cases is pretty safe. It's the sleeping that's the problem. But if you're just kind of
Sleeping is the problem.
hypnotized,
Yeah.
your subconscious knows how to drive or understands the process and can make you drive or help you drive in that situation
Sure.
because you have muscle memory.
Yeah. Now, about the guy that drove 45 minutes to work, got out of his car, and was in front of his apartment building.
Same thing.
Same thing? You think the exact same thing happened there? Him remembering the commute, remembering answering texts with Siri, doing all these different things the day, and then like, my album was almost over. He gets out and he's like, what the?
He can remember all that stuff, but the fact that he ended up back at his house makes him an unreliable narrator.
Do you understand
in this situation.
like what you have, the mindset you have to be in to just get in your car and just go and imagine all that stuff for 45 minutes and then be like, yep, I'm here. Okay.
I mean, that's
Like,
the stuff you do every day. Maybe that's
not
all
me.
it is.
No.
Maybe that guy just remembered the things he does every day out of place to figure out why he just lost his mind for 45 minutes and drove back home.
I don't know about that. Not all of these are about people.
Also, dogs?
No.
Cats?
Christian, I actually have this written out,
Okay.
prepared to share with everyone.
Okay.
Not sure if you thought this was off the cuff, but
Sometimes I like to practice my telepathic skills.
Practice is the key word there.
Yeah,
Yes.
practice. I'm at the early stages.
I see that. Yeah.
Cost me
someone-
$125 for the class.
You've been ripped off. Okay. No better way to say that. Some of them are about stuff showing up where it's got no business being. This first one's from posting by Maddox. And it's about a toy monkey. My dad had this little toy monkey that he called his favorite child. And he teased me and my siblings with it. It drove us nuts, and we spent hours trying to steal it from him. One day we finally got it, drew all over it with a black Sharpie, mangled it up a bit, and threw it in the garbage. My dad laughed, looked around for it, figured we tossed it, and gave up after a week or so. Years later, when I was about 17, I'm walking down a street in Toronto. I don't even live in Toronto. I was just visiting friends. And I see this little orange thing on the side of the road. I walk over and pick it up, and it's the exact same monkey. Same Sharpie lines and everything from when we drew on it. Our garbage went to a local dump nowhere near Toronto. I can't even guess the odds. I took it and burned it just so I knew it couldn't come back again. And then here's one from Debaucherar. That's about a book. A couple years back, I'm walking through a Best Buy and I go past a rack of books. Sitting there is the last book from beloved Pervert, Stephen King, in the Dark Tower series.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I have plenty of facts behind me. It's fine.
Nope.
Some very interesting reads. Christian, that's fine. I'd read the first 6, and I've been waiting on this one. I picked it up, held it, looked at the cover. The guy standing in front of the tower with the field of roses behind him. You've probably read that one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great
you still
series.
picture it in your mind's eye. I remember thinking it was weird that it was in a Best Buy, but whatever. My money was low that week, so I set it down, figured I'd come back after payday. I go back the next week, and it's gone. It slips my mind for a while, and about a month later, I go to Barnes & Noble to buy it, and they tell me it isn't out yet. The release date was 6 months away, so I pre-ordered it. When it finally came out and I went to pick it up, I described the cover out loud first, just to make sure I wasn't crazy. And there it was. The exact book I'd already held in that Best Buy. And one more from, this person goes by Parrot Tamer. When I was 12, my mom let me wait in the truck while she went grocery shopping. As I'm sitting there, I see an old guy walking towards the truck with this look on his face, like I know too much. He stops about 5 feet away, looks at me for a couple seconds, and heads back the exact way he came. For some reason, it really shook me, and I was confused by it for a long time. 5 or 6 years later, my dad's showing me old home videos of us at Yellowstone. And at Old Faithful, I noticed the same guy. Same look, same clothes, staring at us on camera, staring at me through the TV. That Yellowstone video was from when I was maybe 1 or 2 years old. I'm freaked out just telling you this. That's pretty crazy.
That's like a Men in Black type of...
Yeah, that is... if I see my friend Tad walk by twice, I'm not going to start crying. But if I see this, I'm going to bawl my eyes out for days.
The storyteller is one of them indigo children.
Don't hear that phrase tossed around too often.
The Men in Black, keep an eye on them.
I don't know why you got to make it a race thing, but...
You do. No. Anyway, for those of you that don't know, that's the Dark Tower series on Stephen King, which HBO should make because the movie was horrible.
Yeah.
But it's a great story.
That's what I hear. And if you want even more dark stories about Stephen King... might I suggest doing just a little bit of digging yourself? It's fine. I love doing it because I know you love Stephen King so much, and you know that
love is kind of
disgusting.
Stephen King inspired me to read more.
Sure.
So
no, and that's fantastic. I'm glad that that the pervert did something good every once in a while.
You're talking about
you can be a pervert.
One paragraph.
It's not one paragraph, and it's not one book. It's multiple books.
Have you heard of horror?
Paragraphs.
Have you heard the horror genre?
Look, I know there's smut in all books.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's the type of smut.
Trust me, that's
like, and don't get me wrong. I think that the books that China reads and her girlfriends, I think they're perverts too.
No, these are all these are all tame. I mean,
look, and I'm not.
You want some smut? Read stuff by the author of the Fight Club.
The author of the Fight Club. You just aged yourself.
Some of his other books are pretty crazy.
It's just Fight Club, for the record.
Whatever, man.
You sound very old when you say the something when it's not.
You know what? I was like, I psyched myself out because I knew it was Fight Club. Because we were just talking about this at work a couple of days ago. I'm like, we don't talk about Fight Club to one of the customers. I forgot why, but
just you and your coworkers beating the crap out of each other after hours.
Actually, one of my coworkers actually made a big old story right after I said that about how we do beat the crap out of each other in the parking lot after work, but we don't talk about it. And I'm like, you just talked about it.
Like, way to go, Steve. You're out. Get out of here.
Did I touch on both those? That was just 2 stories, right? I feel like I needed to comment on both of them, but I felt like I did.
I think there was 3. Was there 3? Someone's typing away right now.
I mean, there was in the other universe. It was a glitch in the Matrix.
There's the shopping cart, or the shopping person, the guy that almost bought a pervert, and then there was the toy monkey. So there was 3.
Oh, the toy monkey.
That's pretty wild, dude.
That one's crazy. But when you read the toy monkey, I started thinking about some stories about books that people have found that they used to own. Like,
where like your signatures in the back or something.
Yeah, like one was in England. There was a script, a really famous movie script that somebody thought they lost. But
Toy Story 1.
No, that was deleted. This is a different one. This was the actual original script by someone famous.
Mulan. I'm just guessing at this point.
It's not Disney. It's like an Oscar winner or something. If you guys know what I'm talking about, let us know.
Okay.
Because I know other people have heard this story.
Sound off. You guys have been typing away a lot this episode. Appreciate that. We've been asking many things of you.
Before we move past that, though, do you think there's a message when something like that comes around full circle, whether it's the monkey that was obviously possessed? Because everybody knows toy monkeys are not cool.
Toy monkeys aren't cool. We've had actually, just doing this podcast alone, we've had a handful of toy monkey like demon stories where you're just like, that was creepy. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get a monkey paw and be done with it. There's nothing bad going to happen from that.
First of all, don't listen to that. Secondly,
if somebody listened to me say, get a monkey paw, and went out and got a monkey paw.
Yeah. You need to make better decisions with your life. That do not just randomly, what are you doing? Actually, no, tell them to buy the merch instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Buy the merch instead.
Get out and buy that merch or something.
That would be a better idea than hurting a poor innocent monkey just to get his paw.
We can do both.
What a ridiculous thing to say. What a ridiculous thing to have come out of your mouth. Did you ever stop to think for just 1 second about the words you spoke aloud? Be-dum, B-R-B, baby B-R-B. There ain't nothing to see right here, so B-R-B.
We're going to go ahead and close this bad boy out with a listener story. I know I've kind of been lax on those a little bit, and we have been getting some listener stories in. I've just had these episodes so dense, and even this one, I'm cutting out a different story just to make time.
New listeners, you can send us stories too. Those are our favorites.
Send it to mothy@talltalesocialclub.com, or if you want, just, we've had a handful of people comment stories on TikTok and Instagram and all that. So do that. If that's easier for you, and you're like, hey, I got a story for you guys, just know that I will copy it from there and add it to something down the road. I try to keep it on theme. Like this one's on theme. We got a Glitch in the Matrix listener story, so that worked perfectly. But if it doesn't fit the theme, I still try to toss in at least one in an episode to kind of end things. But this is just another super dense episode, so oopsies, already getting close to time there.
Well, you can make them smarter.
No.
I believe in you.
That's too much work. Before we try to make any sense of this, a couple more short ones, because it's the same feeling every time. A few of these are about phones. This first one's from a guy, Serax12. Nope, that's an 11, Scott. You can do that. Says, yeah, when he was around 20, he kept having dreams about a woman with long black hair named Aurora. Oh, this one's good.
Me too.
I bet you did. It's fine. Different dreams, but her face and her name always ended up in them. It got to where he'd wake up frustrated trying to Google her name to figure out how he knew her. After a few months, she stopped showing up and he forgot about it. Then, a few years later, it's Halloween 2009. He's wearing a hanging Chad costume. No, I'm just kidding. It's a bit that someone will get. One person that's listening will be like, I know what you're referencing. It's fine. And he's in the car with a friend stopped at a gas station. He's about to pull onto the highway when he gets a call from a random number. So he stops the car. Nobody answers.
Oh, he stops the car. Fucking nerd.
Nerd? Nobody answers. And a guy behind him gets impatient, honks, swerves around him instead of waiting 2 seconds. The second that guy gets on the highway, a silver Civic loses control and slams right into the car that swerved around him. Both drivers died. That's 100% him if he doesn't get that call. And so a few hours later, he calls the number back just out of curiosity. It rings 3 times and goes to voicemail. Hi, you've reached Aurora. Please leave your name and number. He said he's never had goosebumps like that in his life. Same, because that's pretty wild, you know? Then there's one about a phone that shouldn't have been able to call anybody. The guy worked in a building with 3 sub-basements, and the gear he worked on was in the lowest one. He had the only key. There was an old wired phone down there. One night he's home asleep in his apartment 10 miles away, and he wakes up to his girlfriend calling his cell at 3 a.m., hysterical, asking why he scared her. She says she just got a call from the basement phone, and it was somebody who sounded like him, slowly repeating her name over and over until it crackled and faded out. He thought she was messing with him until he saw the 3 a.m. call from that basement number logged on her phone himself. And then, a few quick ones to really fry your brain before you hit the old dusty trail. This next one's from a guy, this was about 15 years ago. He calls his friend up, friend's not home, so he leaves a message on the answering machine, just says, hey, it's me, sorry I missed you, call you later, bye. Hangs up, leaves the house, doesn't make another call all day. Later, his friend calls back and goes, wow, that was quite a message. Who was that girl you were talking to? He goes, what girl? I wasn't talking to anybody. Turns out the message didn't stop after he said bye. He had to drive over and listen to it himself. After his goodbye, there's a little pause, and then it keeps going about 30, 40 seconds of him talking to some girl. His voice, his exact way of talking, a conversation he never had, about going skiing after he stopped by the shop to work on a car, which is exactly what he was actually doing that day. Then it just cuts off. Let's see, a second one. A woman's fiance can't find his phone, so she offers to call it. He finds it, answers on speaker standing right next to her and says, hello? She says, hello back at the same time, out loud. And then they both hear her voice come out of his phone, clearly saying, hey. Not hello. Hey. Same voice, wrong word. Half a second late. And one last one that isn't about phones. It's just the feeling. This is a girl that was 17 at the mall with a friend one evening. Lights half off. A third of the shop's dark and closed. No holiday. No reason. Already kind of eerie, but it was the people. Almost everyone they walked past would watch them. Eyes following them. People openly staring with no expression. Old folks, little kids, shop clerks, everybody. They kept checking their reflections, thinking they had something on their faces. They didn't. She said it started to feel like everyone knew they didn't belong there. They lasted 45 minutes and called for a ride. And when her dad showed up, he noticed it too. So, it's a little spooky, right?
Walked into a cult on that last.
I know. They're all like, oh, yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. We're about to bring out the goats for the rituals. Speaking of rituals, got a really fun episode called Wrong Place, Wrong Ritual coming up, probably the next handful here, of people stumbling upon unfortunate things taking place. So buckle up for that one. Anyway, this is a listener story from Lindsay. It says, hey guys, big fan of the show. Been listening since the TFD days. So I figured I'd finally send in the thing that's been bugging me for 2 years. She says, I'm 26 and I live alone with my cat, Biscuit. Shout out, Biscuit.
Yo, Biscuit.
In the spring of 2024, I was making coffee before work, normal Tuesday, and I dropped my keys on the kitchen floor. I heard them hit the tile. I looked down, and they weren't there. I checked under the fridge, under the stove, everywhere. Nothing. I was late, so I grabbed my spare key and left. That night, I came home, and my keys were sitting in the middle of the kitchen table. Not near the edge like I tossed them there. Dead center, laid out flat like someone placed them. I live alone. Nobody else has a key. Biscuit is many things, but she is not tidy. Anyway, love the show. Tell Christian I'm a proud member of the Butterscotch Gang, so he has to believe my story. Lindsay. That tracks, actually. He has to believe Butterscotch Gang stories.
But, Lindsay, we got to talk about Biscuit.
Biscuit did move your keys.
Biscuit might be a familiar.
Have you ever seen the movie The Cat from Outer Space?
I have not.
I was asking Lindsay.
I know, but I've never even heard of that movie.
Really?
I'm curious.
It was a great movie. Yeah, it was on VHS when I had it, so.
Ooh.
But I think it was called The Cat from Outer Space. But yeah, it's pretty much an alien cat comes down, family adopts it. Cat talks. It's like Homeward Bound, but for
I just feel like I would have
aliens.
heard about that at some point.
I feel like if someone is vigorously typing away, chill out. We'll read it. It's fine. Tell us about The Cat from Outer Space.
So
I feel like if you saw the cover, you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember this.
maybe, because I used to know a lot of movies. So
You used to work at a Blockbuster. That happens.
Yeah. And that didn't leave me for a long time till recently, probably, when I had grandchildren and didn't have time.
True. So give your thoughts on those, or I guess her.
I do like the cat thing's kind of a joke, but also not. Like, that's so weird.
That is so weird.
Like, I'm just joking. I'm hoping it's the cat, not some other manifestation.
Someone living in your cupboards or something.
I mean, because that's what a cat would do if it had thumbs.
Live in her cupboards?
No, it would get up and mess with you. Any cat would, even the nice ones.
Keys have a nice jingle to them. Of course, you're going to want to shake, rattle, and roll a little bit. Yeah.
They probably get bored sometimes, and they're like, let's play a joke on my human. There's no rodents around here that I can drop at their feet, so let's move the keys.
Yes. Look what I've discovered for you.
I don't know, man. That's a weird one. Yeah. I've been there. I don't know if I've ever had anything show up in the middle of the table that I don't remember setting it on, but I have dropped something. It should be right there. I heard it hit right there. There's no way it rolled around.
Yeah.
And I'm usually pretty good with that kind of stuff because I'm not, I have a good sense of awareness.
I've seen you, Christian. You do have a great sense of awareness. So that tracks. Yeah. And we've had a handful of stories like that too over the years. The one that I believe most recently was someone dropping a guitar pick.
Oh yeah,
or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah.
And ended up being in a jar or something like that. Or that big screwdriver, the big Stanley screwdriver. They're putting a light bulb or fixture in and drop it, and they're like, "Where did that go?" But yeah, that reminds me of that.
That
And
happened to me today when I was fixing something.
And did you lose it?
No, because I had a young child with me that could see somehow see this tiny little thing on the floor.
Does come in handy.
That matched the floor. I was like, "Can you come over here and look for this?" And I showed it to him, and he's like,
"It's right here." It's like, "You old bat, can't you see this?"
Yeah.
We've had a lot of that, and I feel like there's some trickster energy in that. A little bit of trickster energy, because I know in the house that I shared with my ex in Vegas, she thought it was like some old lover of hers that had occupied the place with us.
That's the ego part that I talked about earlier.
I know. I was like, you take your little lover demon somewhere else, or I want nothing to do with that.
I don't know. It's just people that are like, this person loved me so much, they're still haunting me.
Yes. This person, there was something in that house that was very trickster-esque, and it felt like it was more or less all directed at me. So could it have been her taking my stuff constantly and selling it or whatever? Could have been.
Isn't it? I feel like it's funny sometimes that creepy old men make it into the afterlife and haunt people, and just
creepy old men.
Because
I don't know how
you see a
old
lot
was,
because they get all possessive of their female they're haunting, and then go after the men that aren't maybe just a brother or something. I mean, I've heard it.
Yeah,
but like for Glitch in the Matrix stuff, when you hear all these stories, doesn't it make you wonder how, or just wonder about the world that we think we live in, to where everything is just, it's not really well constructed, because things can glitch on over into your space or their space. You can have two dads. You can have a bunch of dead people in the middle of McDonald's.
Guys, you can have two dads. That's insane.
Yeah.
Glitch in the Matrix, am I right? Yeah.
Well, anybody that listens to the whole show understands what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And those that just for whatever reason chimed in right here, interesting choice.
You can clip it and hate us and get us a lot of people, a lot of attention.
That's usually something that I would throw out there. I would usually start rage baiting people with fun stuff.
Yeah, but
like
I don't
that.
rage bait. That just,
but
Christian, you know what I'm saying.
You rage bait all the time.
Yeah,
you just don't rage bait.
That's true. That's true.
The sensitive
take that
crowd.
Back.
Yeah.
But it just makes you, like, all these stories, you know, we can throw out a percentage because they're kooky, whatever. Even in this show, there were a couple that I'm like, you know, the driving hypnotism or whatever I said earlier. I didn't say it like that. But if any, like some of these are true, then our world's very fragile or not well constructed enough to keep us from seeing the other side.
Wouldn't that make sense though? Especially if everything is like a sim. And I'll do a cold close on this episode, and I do kind of touch on the simulation guy, but wouldn't that make sense that if humans created something and it was like a simulation or something, that there would be all kinds of programming errors? I know it's like AI vibe coded.
That's what I'm saying is somebody in the future, you know, 2 years from now, that they vibe coded a reality and it just screwed up the real reality, and it's been affecting us for the last 20, 30 years.
That sounds like something Tad would do. That's a classic Tad move.
Yeah. When you said Tad, what was this, 1989? I was like, you mean 1889 earlier?
I thought, isn't Tad like an 80s name?
Probably. I'm thinking of probably Thaddeus or some stupid, but I swear I've heard some Tads through history too.
I worked with a Thaddeus like 2 years ago.
I worked with a Preston, which was kind of...
Who won the old person work off?
Oh, Thaddeus is...
Thaddeus for sure, yeah.
Jebediah is the only one that can beat that.
Yeah, and if you meet one of them, you're probably raising a barn later that afternoon.
I have met it. So. I see a Jebediah a lot.
Jebediah?
At work.
From Pennsylvania?
Not that Jebediah.
There's no way.
And then there's another guy that looks like he should be named Jebediah, but he's not.
Do you tell him that?
No.
Say, hey, you look like someone that should be named Jebediah.
No, I don't know if people would see
it's probably not going to be well received.
It's not a put down. It's just, you fit your name, man.
Yeah. You like that, huh? You like when Christian tells people they fit their name?
I don't like
that.
I say it quietly in my head so I don't hurt people's hearts, because people are sensitive.
Okie dokie. Guys, it's been fun hanging out with you. It has. Glitching out of control. Again, comment your ideas and theories and all this stuff. I'm going to close her out with a couple blocks of text. But shop the merch, sticker packs, pins, whatever this is, crew necks, buttery soft, too soft. Some might say, like, hey, that has no business being that soft. Well, it is. Check it out. And also, follow us on social media at Tall Tale Social Club, most of the places, and not that at the other one. It's fine. Anyway,
just click on the link. It tells you where to go.
Yeah, literally, wherever it's at, even the description of you guys, I'm not going to mansplain it. It's fine.
You know the internet.
You've been on the internet, hopefully.
Except for you, Tad.
Yeah, Tad.
And Meg. Don't think I forgot about you, Meg.
I did. All right. So what is any of this? We'll try to break it down a little bit. That jump you get when you swear you've been somewhere before, the déjà vu feeling, scientists actually have a decent handle on it. A researcher named Ann Cleary at Colorado State found it can fire when a place you're in has the same layout as somewhere you've been before that you just don't consciously remember. There's a spot in your brain that handles the feeling of being familiar, and sometimes it just goes off when it shouldn't. Younger brains do it more. So the glitch feeling is real. It's just a glitch in your head, not the world. We've also touched on the theory floating around a while back about the one eye registering information slightly like milliseconds after the other one. And so it's giving your brain two different signals. And one of them is like, you've seen this before, you've seen this before, you've seen this before. And so I don't know where that study is at, but I do remember that being a theory. So I kind of threw that in here too. Yeah. Then there's the big one. This whole thing is named after, back in 2003, a philosopher named Nick Bostrom, which, by the way, isn't it weird that there's still philosophers?
Yeah.
Like modern day philosophers.
I feel like I follow him on Twitter.
You probably do. He's pretty popular. But it's like, how do you become a philosopher if you're not Aristotle and the guys that used to wear the togas?
A lot of study.
That's it? You just have to read and then be like, I philosophize.
I mean, it's not just reading.
Well, yeah, you think, but see, that means that any one of us could be a philosopher.
No, you have to
gives you the title of you're a philosopher?
You have to go to school. You think Aristotle?
You think you literally?
Do you think Aristotle taught himself?
To me, it was like a philosopher is like, oh, you just had the wisdom of age with you.
Pretty
There's
sure.
like some kind of. I thought people would just roll up after from shanty towns all over and find a guy in a toga talking about what life is like.
I'm pretty sure
like, oh.
Aristotle was taught by Socrates or the other way around.
Sure, you'd have like an understudy, right? I get
Which
that.
would have been a college education similar to that back then.
Sure, but the idea of what are you going to school for? To be a philosopher.
I believe
you just want to sound pretentious on the internet, guy?
Huh? I believe Anthropic has a philosopher on their payroll. So
weird.
It's all over the place.
I know, it's just weird. It strikes, I can't take it seriously if it's not.
I think because society has put down philosophers so much in recent years that we look at it like, is this even a thing anymore?
I don't know. Who's been putting down philosophers?
It's not like per se just philosophers, but people that deal with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Or I just feel like we tear down philosophy, but I still read Marcus Aurelius all the time.
Sure. There you go. Okay. This is dragging on at
I
this
know,
point.
sorry,
I
folks,
got really caught up on the modern day philosopher, and
it is kind of weird though to hear somebody be called that nowadays.
Yeah.
Because we think it's Aristotle and Socrates, and aside from that, there's not many others most of us know.
Yeah, that is true. So anyway, Nick Bostrom made the actual serious argument that we might all be living in a simulation, and there are some fairly intelligent folks out there that still take that seriously. But here's the funny part. Bostrom himself doesn't even buy the glitch stories. He says, if we were in a simulation, the little deja vu moments and weird glitches wouldn't be the proof, because those are always better explained by a tired brain playing tricks. The guy who made the theory famous thinks the viral stories that we've spent the evening sharing with all of you, are the weakest part of it. Isn't that kind of wild? You've probably argued about the Mandela effect too, where a bunch of people remember something that never happened. Tons of people swear Nelson Mandela died in prison back in the 80s. He didn't. He got out, became president, and died in 2013. People swear it's the Berenstain Bears, which it is. It's actually Berenstain. It's the same thing that...
Fruit of the Loom?
Fruit of the Loom. Where's the cornucopia? Yeah, we'll probably do an episode on that at some point. That's always fun. Usually it's one person remembering it wrong and everybody else is right. And we are in the age of the internet where you can get other people that are also wrong.
I mean, that's a lot
you gather all the people that have the wrong. I mean, just look at how
they like group together like cults.
Yeah. There's a crazy lady right now that has almost everything wrong, and she is quite the following. But anyway,
I'm curious who this crazy lady is.
And you will remain curious because I'm not about to segregate our audience.
No, I mean, you're going to have to tell me afterwards.
I will. Then you'll be like, well, I don't know about, but it's the truth. Anyway, here's the only thing I'll say about all these. A haunted house, you can leave. Thing in the woods, you can drive away from, hopefully. But if the glitch is in the world itself, in the drive-through and the photo and the road, there's nowhere to go. And the reason they stick with people isn't just that they're dramatic, but that almost everybody's had the tiny version. The drive you don't remember taking, the street that felt wrong for a second, or the memory you'd bet your life on that turned out wrong. These people just got the full version. So, out of all of these, this is for the viewers at home, which one can't you shake? And are you a believer, or do you just think everybody needs more sleep? Let us know in the comments.
Did you just glitch?
I think I stopped writing this like mid-sentence. Like I got distracted probably by my son where I was like, oh, I'm going to close this out. And literally just, it says, let us know in the comments and if you made.
Did you made?
If you made it this far. Oh, that's what I was going to tell people to, I want to really hone in and interact with the people that watch the full episodes. And so at the end of episodes, I want to give like little, like a keyword or something like that. Be like, yo, if you made it this far, say, just pick any word, Scott. Just
Crockpot.
Crockpot. There you go. Yeah. If you made it this far, comment crockpot on top of the 25 other comments that you've already made, because we've asked a lot of you this episode. And thank you. We'll see you in a couple weeks for, I guess, this is probably going to be the nurse episode. We should probably get that out of the way. It's been recorded for about a month now. And I was like, I kind of want to do this one. I kind of want to do this one. We're just going to get the nurse stories out of the way. They're great. You'll love it. We'll see you then. In the meantime, how do I end this show? Oh, I guess, see you guys. Hey. Play that theme music that people either really love or hate with all of their being.
Play that funky music, white boy.
And I will.
There's whispers moving through the tree line, something pacing in the dark. Could be wind or something watching just beyond the fire spark. Something screaming in the distance, probably just a raccoon. But if it starts speaking Latin, we'll be leaving pretty soon. We laugh it off but keep on listening to the branches crack above. Every monster needs believers in the tall tale social club. So roast a mallow, share a sighting, and don't you dare forget to sub. You're a member now forever of the Tall Tale Social Club. Tall Tale Social Club.